friends, this is Mrs. Cram, and this is your third art lesson for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Today we are going to make a stress monster, and then we're going to trap him so he can't get out, and then think about all the things that make us happy. We are going to start by finding the middle of our paper, and then somewhere drawing a skinny little oval. Now, it's skinny and it stretches the long way. So if it's vertical and skinny, that's not what we want. We want horizontal and skinny, so it goes this way. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's a little crooked. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to use this little oval as the top of a jar. So I'm going to trace another little oval around that first oval. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just do your best. Now I'm going to do a little line down on each side. And I'm going to do a little line out and a little line down on each side. And if you need to pause the video and watch it again, go for it. Now that I have these two lines coming down, I'm just going to use a curve or like a smiley face to connect them. And if you want this little jar to look 3D, you can go over here and just do a little light line. You can even do a dotted line, doing almost a rainbow shape right here. And that'll be the inside bottom of the jar. Now we are going to be putting the things that we're feeling negative about, or the things that are making us feel stressed, in the jar. And then after we do that, we're going to put a cork in it so it can't get out. Our first objective is to create some symbols. Symbols are any kind of picture that stands for something. Just like how a stop sign means stop or a green light means go, you can draw a picture that represents something to you. So for me, what makes me feel stressed is when my laptop isn't working. So I am going to draw my little laptop. Whatever symbols you think. So there's my laptop, and sometimes my laptop doesn't work. So I'm going to put it in there when it doesn't work. And another thing that makes me feel stressed is when I don't feel good. So maybe a symbol for that could be a Band-Aid. I'll go ahead and draw myself a little Band-Aid. Something else that makes me feel stressed is when the people around me are feeling sad. So I'm just going to do a little sad face. And then another thing you can do is just think of a crazy stress monster that might be showing up whenever you're feeling stressed and you need to trap him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my little stress monster. So I'm going to start by doing a little oval, little tiny oval like an egg. And then next to that oval, I'm going to do a letter C. So it looks like there's two little ovals next to each other. Now I'm going to do a tiny little O inside of my ovals so that the eyes look shiny. And now I'm going to do a sad face and some teeth. Kind of like little triangles. You can make them pointy if you want. And then I'm going to do crazy lines so he looks like a big fuzzy stress monster. I'm going to give him some legs. Give him some arms. And then you can even give him some angry eyebrows if you want. Or a nose. Now, I want all of this stress to stay in my bottle. So I'm going to draw a big cork or something that's going to keep all that stuff in so it can't come out. Now, this doesn't mean that you're taking all of your stress and hiding it deep inside and not talking about it, because that's not a good thing to do either. What this means is we're taking all of that stress, we're putting it in a spot where we can think about it and look at it and then maybe tell somebody about what you're feeling. And then, now that that stress is in that spot, you can say, okay, maybe it's scary, maybe it's real, but I can't do anything about it. So what I'm going to do is think about the things that I can control, the things that make me feel better. And so now we're going to surround that stress with good things. Now that all that stress is in the bottle and it can't get me, I'm going to draw things on the outside that make me happy. So I can draw my babies. My babies make me happy. So I can draw my babies. Now, if you want, you can just do stick figures. I'm going to draw some little faces. You can do little circles if you want to do people for the eyes and little dots, kind of like we did with our stress monster. And sometimes that helps. I have a little girl and a little boy, so I'll do both of them. If you have a person in your life that makes you feel better, you can draw them. My babies are a little bit cartoonish in this picture because I don't want to take too much time. I'm just going to get the basic idea. You don't have to make your people look this realistic. This is just what I'm doing for fun. So my babies make me feel better, and so does my husband. Also, my pet fish, Bakugo, I like looking at him. So I'll go ahead and draw him. Something else that makes me feel better when I'm feeling stressed is art. So I'm going to draw a paintbrush. I can also love looking at my garden or any kind of trees outside when I'm feeling stressed. So I'll go ahead and draw a little tree. Remember, this part is yours. You get to decide what you want to do because it's your picture. So whatever makes you feel better, that's what you're drawing on the outside. And it's good to remember that there's all of these good things to think about when you're feeling stressed. Something else that I love to do, which isn't always a good thing, but sometimes it's all right, is I like eating a little bit of chocolate when I'm feeling sad. So I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a little chocolate bar. Now, it's not good to eat candy all the time when you're not feeling good, but every once in a while, I think it's okay. Now I have my stress looking a lot smaller than it used to, and I have all of these things around it that make me happy. If you want, you can color these things, or you can just leave them the way they are if you don't have colors. I drew my family because I love spending time with them, and spending time with them makes me feel better. I drew a piece of chocolate because sometimes when I'm feeling stressed, I eat a little bit of chocolate. Now, it's not good to do that all the time because too much candy is not very good for you, but I think every once in a while it's okay. I added a book because often it makes me feel better to read. I added a tree because just looking at nature and spending time in my garden or at the park makes me feel a lot better. I added my fish Bakugo because I just love hanging out with looking at him and feeding him with my babies, and also a paintbrush to represent my art because I love doing art and it always makes me feel better. Remember, when I'm grading your art assignments, I'm always looking for your 2 objectives, which I mentioned in your lesson. The first objective today was to make sure we used 2 or 3 ovals to draw our jar. So we have 1, 2, 3, as well as some curved lines for the outside edges. We also are making sure we can use either the design we learned in class or your own design for your stress monster inside. Your second objective is to use at least 5 different symbols in your picture. These symbols can be representing the stress inside of your jar or are also the things that make you happy on the outside. I have a lot more than 5, so you can do more than 5 if you want as well. Los objetivos en español. Número 1. Yo puedo dibujar mi tarro utilizando 2 o 3 óvalos. 1, 2, 3. Y líneas curvas. Yo puedo dibujar mi monstruo adentro de mi tarro utilizando lo que aprendí en la clase de arte o puedo hacer un diseño propio. Número 2. Yo puedo dibujar al menos 5 símbolos para representar mi estrés y hacerme feliz. See you in art class.